At first glance, you'd imagine you were walking through a commercial street in a major city in the Muslim Middle East. But wait, this is London, and it is the changing face of this city, the very heartland of the Anglican Communion, which gives meaning to the mission of Father Nadim Nassar.
It's not enough anymore to look at the Christian faith as if we live on an island. We live in a diverse world. How can we look at our faith and study it and still ignore what is happening around us?
Father Nadim is an Anglican priest, but hardly traditional.
My mother is Greek Orthodox. My father was Presbyterian. I mean, the combination itself is almost incredible. I was born in Latakia, which is a Mediterranean port of Syria. I am now the first Anglican priest in the Church of England from Syria ever in history.
Father Nadim, the Syrian, found himself transformed as a young adult by an experience just across the border.
I studied theology 7 years in the civil war in Lebanon, and that shaped my personality completely. I always say when I preach, however you hear about war, however you read about war, is nothing equal to 60 seconds being there.
War can certainly teach the importance of understanding and reconciliation, two ideas that underlie Father Nadim's current work that is closely targeted to contemporary British society. To help me comprehend the context, he explained how religious faith is regarded nowadays by many in England in particular, and in Europe in general.
Secularism is sweeping Europe. So in this country, if you declare your faith, it means you are a zealot. Because, of course, faith is a private matter.
But here's the challenge for those privately believing Christians. Muslims in London now number about 1 million, more than 14% of the population.
You know who reminded the Europeans that it is not a private matter? The Muslims. Because the Muslims did not want to take how the British want to live, that religion is in a compartment of your private life. No.
So Father Nadim Nassar considers himself a kind of apostle to those Christians in London who now may need to explain, sometimes in public, what they believe.
The Awareness Foundation is an educational foundation found to help Christians to raise their awareness, to be secure and comfortable in their faith in a diverse world and also in a world of globalization.
Father Nadim launched the Awareness Foundation in 2003 with the gratitude of hundreds of his supporters. After all, he's made their lives easier.
I think that there are a lot of Christians who don't know enough about their faith to have the confidence, and I think that's where the awareness course comes in.
Anne Hudson has come to this event at Holy Trinity Sloane Square, a short walk from Buckingham Palace, to hear a guest speaker. I have to say I'm pretty impressed by a turnout that fills 3/4 of the church on a Thursday evening.
I would like first of all to thank Awareness Foundation to give me the chance to meet you, to be here this evening and to talk about this very interesting and challenging issue.
Holy Trinity Sloane Square is a 120-year-old Victorian-era sanctuary damaged heavily by Nazi bombs during the Second World War. This kind of church is an anchor of the Anglican tradition, and Father Nadim's non-traditional style, preaching in the aisle rather than from the pulpit, is drawing new members.
The whole human civilizations around the world are based on stories.
it was absolutely riveting to listen to him speak and to put everything in terms of not only biblical context but into a cultural context. And it brought everything alive, and you could see how the congregation would really sort of link up with him.
His style of preaching and and the way he tackles problems is very different from an otherwise very traditional church in a very traditional and conservative, small c conservative part of London. So it makes a refreshing change.
Father Nadim Nassar told me that his energetic preaching style is the product of his experience of growing up as a religious minority, a Christian in the predominantly Muslim Middle East.
When I came here, Jim, the first question they asked me, when did you become Christian? In the beginning, I didn't understand. What do you mean? They said, well, you were Muslim and you became Christian, or your parents became Christian? I said, neither nor. My family goes back to St. Paul. And then the shock comes. No. Yes, because have you forgotten where Christianity started? On the road to Damascus? When 9/11 happened, I got hate letters from my neighbors and asking me, bloody Arab, leave the country. I'm an Arab, it means I'm bad. I'm from the Middle East. I'm a terrorist. Go home. So all these quick demographical changes and rubbing culture against culture. I wouldn't say clash of cultures. I would say rubbing. We need to take it seriously and look at the consequences of that.
After a few days around Father Nadim, it dawned on me what this very unique Anglican priest's message really is. Know your neighbor, especially your Muslim neighbor, but first, know yourself. And while it resonates in London, where the religious landscape is rapidly changing, many believe that the work of the Awareness Foundation can, should, and must cross international borders.
I think what we try to preach is not tolerance, but actually understanding and building a future. And I think that what Nadim is doing is trying to actually build on that particular theme.
Shaped as a religious minority in the Middle East and a survivor of the cauldron of the war in Lebanon, Father Nadim knows that the path to understanding in a multi-faith world is seldom paved with quick and easy answers.
There is a statement that drives me mad in this country. They say, after all, aren't we all the same? No, we are not the same. The differences are serious, but the differences are not a matter of hatred or matter of tension. No, it's a matter of celebration, because we are enriched by the differences, not diminished.